All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Two men in black and white, an honest conversation. First thing first, RIP to Theo, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Perished over the weekend in a drowning accident down in Costa Rica. Everybody's favorite black son from the Cosby Show is no more. So rest in peace to Theo, and our hearts go out to his family, loved ones, and his extended family on the show. Jasmine Guy lives here in Atlanta along with Keisha Knight Pulliam, and then Felicia Rashad is also a dean at Howard University. So we know they are hurting this evening as they are getting the news. The two Atlantans were not available for comment, so we didn't hear anything from them, but our hearts and prayers go out to them as well. All right, let's get right into what's happening out there. Ground beef at an all-time high. But the guy in the Oval Office said he was going to fix the economy on day one. Who knew he meant we wouldn't be able to afford hamburger helper? Ground beef up 9%, steak ridiculously expensive. Everything is going up. But I did hear that regular gas was $2.63 over on Alpharetta Highway. Not that it matters. Trump is underwater.
Yeah. Sorry to
Say it
jump
again?
in. I filled up my tank with a lot of gas. Just did a long drive. I was in about 12 different states.
Yeah.
Now, 289 a gallon was the cheapest I saw.
Cheapest? Nice.
Cheapest. 289.
All right. So my partner in crime is here after a long drive across country, just taking in the sights, talking to interesting people along the way. Brock, you meet anybody that you were able to converse with to give you some insight on what's going on around the country?
Oh, Mark, I had an incredible conversation with a 15-year-old kid, white kid. Okay?
15.
15-year-old white kid, and he just get into a conversation, gets kind of political, and he just like unabashedly rips what he calls baby boomers and corporations and says people say our generation isn't focused because we're on our phones, but like we're so focused because I realized that if I don't like work my ass off and get a great job, I'm not even gonna be able to buy a house till I'm like 35 years old. Because the boomers and the corporations are just taking all the money. And all these old people are just taking and not caring about what kind of world that they're leaving us. I mean, I was like, whoa, okay, hard to argue it, but like,
here's the lie.
What a direct like punch in the nose. I had to argue like, hey, I'm not a boomer. I think I'm a little below boomer generation.
Right.
But I hear you. So as part climate change, part how everything's too expensive, part how like couldn't even imagine what it would take to eventually go to college and get a job, the type of job where you could actually afford to buy a home like his parents had done. Couldn't see it within a 15-year horizon of coming out of college, and just thinks that so that was just an interesting place to start. And it was like exactly this, and basically in the end said I hate Trump because he views Trump as kind of a symbol of American greed.
Of the greed, yeah, absolutely. Where's the lie? And now Trump's fans are seeing him as part of the deep state, right? Everybody from Fox and Friends to the latest Gallup poll has him underwater. Down 7 points on Fox and Friends and the Fox Network, and he's down almost 30 points in the latest Gallup poll. He's down like 18 points in a Quinnipiac poll, and he's suing the Wall Street Journal. Remember who owns the Journal? Rupert Murdoch. Remember who owns Fox News? Rupert Murdoch. He's going to lose his only propaganda network that anybody really cares about. Those other two fringe networks, I don't know anybody that watches those. I'm surprised they're even still on the air. What is it? OAN, has AT&T behind it. So, they got plenty of money. Yeah, plenty of money. But, the Epstein files, he needs a network to go hard for him in the paint on these Epstein files because they are not going away. Over the weekend, Brock, Melania's, fictitious past is coming out. She was never a very good model, never made an industry impression, never made a lot of money doing it, right? Nobody, she wasn't a Naomi Campbell, a Tyra Banks, top Beverly Johnson, top of the line elite. Yeah, we never heard of her. And so, how'd she get an Einstein visa, right? That's all coming out. The lie about the colleges that she attended, right? She speaks 6 languages. English ain't one of them. We know that. And, the way she met Donald Trump. She put it in a book. And now she's promoting it off the Epstein debacle. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how she talks about how she met him at, the Kit Kat Club or some dark, seedy place, where models did drugs and met older guys and tried to hook up, so they could be taken care of for the rest of their life. These people are not smart, Brock. That's what enrages me, that we can't outsmart them and get them out of here.
Well, a couple thoughts and questions for you. One is, I saw Mike Johnson kind of backed away and said Trump needs space after coming out and saying that he wanted to see the Epstein files released. So he's walked back from that. But you're telling me you're seeing a lot of other MAGA politicians saying we need to see the files. And of course, the MAGA world itself, certainly the QAnon version of it just won't let go of this story, right? It's too deep in their brains, right? It's so part of their wiring. But the question I have for you is, what do you think Rupert Murdoch's play is here? Like, is he tired of Trump and is just saying, fuck it, we're going after him now? Or did this happen, like, inadvertently? Like, or nothing happens inadvertent at the Wall Street Journal editorial page?
Well, absolutely. And, the thing about it is Murdoch is pissed, because he's calling into question the integrity, right, of the news gathering organization. But, that's a conversation that we needn't have.
That ship sailed at least on Fox. But maybe the Wall Street Journal thinks it has. The Wall Street Journal does have more credibility than Fox. I mean,
absolutely.
Because it's a business publication.
And the numbers don't lie. Yeah. Right. The numbers don't lie, right? Men lie, women lie, people lie, numbers don't lie. But it's over that X-rated cartoon that Trump supposedly doodled and then sent the letter over to Epstein, and they put it in the birthday album for Epstein's, big birthday or whatever.
50th birthday, I think.
Signs his name on it, right? Now the issue is, how did the reporters see this stuff? Right? So that's the issue. Now Trump wants to know, right? Who leaked it? Who put it out there so I can rain hell on him? And so Murdoch is like, hey, you know what? I'm fighting back. The scrapbook is legit. Your name's on this doodle of a woman with big boobs or whatever. You put your name on it. You wrote, some craziness on there. And here's the thing, Brock. We looked at, what's the 13-year-old, I can't think of her name, the young lady who filed a lawsuit against Trump, 13 years old. These are legal filings. People have them in there. We're looking at the legal proceeding. This is what is in the document. Donald Trump tried to rape me. I asked him to put a condom on. He screamed at me and said, I'll do whatever I wanted. I mean, it's all there. It's all there. And Brock, remember, if this goes away, like you mentioned, what do the QAnon people have? The climate conspiracy? That's not enough for them to dig their teeth into. That ain't sexy for them. It's the whole pedo deal.
The pedophile ring, that's
where they live.
That's the core. I mean, that is core philosophy.
Right. And, while we live in the real world, and I'm interested to see, because, watching the Weather Channel on YouTube or whatever this morning, 80 million people under a severe heat warning, right? It went from Idaho all the way down through down to the Bahamas, and into the East Coast. Right? We got flash flood warnings here. We had it in DC over the weekend. We had flash flood warnings here. I mean, we got like 1.5 inches, 2 inches in like 30 minutes here. It's insane everywhere. How can you deny it?
I mean, one thing you learn going across country, the only stations are a lot of these local stations. They affiliate with NPR because NPR gives them content. They're not NPR directly all the time. They're very often a college or a local station that then taps into NPR content. And you just go across the country and there is a constant conversation in every region about what's going on with the climate. It's a top story everywhere because either they're having extreme heat, they're worried about, the further west you go, they're worried about fires again. This is supposedly, the conditions are ripe for another horrific fire season. Yeah. Then in between that, you have the flash flooding because it doesn't just rain anymore, right? It's torrential in a short period of time all over the place. So there's flash flood warnings. Your phone's, ringing because there's flash flood warnings somewhere around you just as you're cruising across the country. It's what everyone's talking about. Like, it is just like the people know. Everyone in the country knows our climate has dramatically changed and it's much more dangerous. And it's only a small group of people in the MAGA world or the Heritage Fund and the Koch brothers that are making a ton of money off of it because they're still fossil fuel driven that have really fought against and somehow gotten their policies in play to where, we coal, the coal mines are opening again and we're doing more drilling. But when you go across the country, you're in these red states like Wyoming and you see the wind farms and you're just like, come on, these people fucking know that clean energy is the future. They know it on the ground.
Absolutely. And those wind turbines, they're not what kind of birds were they killing? The hawks?
Not killing some birds.
Or the eagles? Yeah, they're killing off all the wild. No, they're not. Shut up.
But we're killing off enough, we're making enough species extinct. We're going to be next to be extinct with these temperatures. So we're disrupting every living organism's life. So that's just another sidebar you get when you go around the country. Is like you just hear the constant chatter. Not only are they begging for money because Trump has basically starved all these local radio stations because he thinks NPR is too left-leaning and maybe did a couple stories that were negative on him, right? So the entire NPR and PBS world gets gutted, but it just means local news coverage all over the country, all these stations begging for dollars in between their news segments.
Well,
funding's got taken away.
And Brock, think about the ripple effect of all those kids that are going to intern there, that are going to get work experience there, practical experience, and would have gotten their first job at those stations. That's where you learn how to be a broadcaster. Right? That's where you go to make your mistakes, to learn how to do it, right? Where people train you, you work for free, it's part of the process, and, that's how you earn your stripes. Now those kids got to go somewhere else or do something else.
One of these stations, like in Iowa, had an 83-year-old woman on there who said, that she would hear one of these local stations would do the obituaries, and that's how sometimes she would hear that someone, elderly person had passed away, and that they could get to the wake or the funeral in time because they heard it through like the local station. And that was like, so you're just pulling the plug on even something as like, too much empathy, right? Oh my, not even going to know now necessarily when someone passes away. And
and remember, Brock,
an absurdity of what's going on in the country.
Right. Remember, the obituaries used to be in the newspaper, but
now there's no newspaper.
What's a newspaper?
That was local radio.
That 15-year-old kid has probably never seen a newspaper. But, going back to his point, the greed when it comes to climate change, you talked about the Koch brothers, right? It's all about the money, right? It's all about the money. Drill, baby, drill. It's all about the Texas oil money. It's all about the Alaska oil money. Damn the environment. Let us get rich, right? How many yachts can we friggin' water ski behind? It is unbelievable. But let's be careful about who gets rich, because when we start seeing black athletes in college sports get rich, let's go ahead and tank that. Let's go ahead and sign an executive order that says we're going to cap the amount of money that NIL can pay out, to these athletes. And why do you think that is? Shedeur Sanders just did $250 million in jersey sales, of which he's getting a huge percentage. Right? So it doesn't even matter that 900 paying him for being a 5th round draft pick, plus all the money he made at Colorado.
I didn't see. So we're not capitalists anymore, right?
No.
No, that sounds like socialism for the schools, right? Like, you can only make so much.
So much.
You got to share. The riches have to be shared with others.
Yes, indeed. But we don't like that when you tell us to do that. By the way, if you haven't seen the Mehdi Hasan takedown of 20 so-called extra smart conservatives, it's worth watching.
I haven't seen it yet. I scrolled by it. I didn't watch it. I got to watch it? Yeah,
it's worth watching.
Okay, I'll watch it tonight.
There were 20 murders that took place on that video. You'll love each and every one of them. He shut them down. They had nothing left at the end. Everything from climate to immigration, I mean, to the economy. I mean, he was just blowing them away. And so, it's a really interesting watch. Michael Cohen says the Epstein thing ain't going away. I caught a little bit of his spiel this morning. Michael Cohen was laughing at Trump because he's trying to wag the dog with the AI video of Obama being arrested when the two of them were sitting in the Oval. It ain't gonna work, bro.
Well, I mean, Cohen was kind of knee deep. He did some of like the Goon Squad intimidation shit with some of the women that were involved. Like, so he
better believe it.
I mean, he kind of knows better than anyone. Like that, he was a part. He was a part of the threat brigade.
Yeah, he was the bully. He was the legal bully. We'll sue your pants off if you come after Mr. Trump. Remember when we first met Michael Cohen? I mean, he was kind of like a scary dude. Like, he was very short, very curt, like sucked at interviews. Like, who would have thunk we'd come around to kind of sort of liking him?
Yeah. He did the full mea culpa. That's why he didn't half-ass it. Like, he did the full apology tour, and he went to fucking jail.
Right.
I mean, he went to jail on shit because Trump wrote a check. Because Trump violated the law, Michael Cohen went to jail. Like the fallacy, the life that Donald Trump has lived. I mean, so yeah, I do hope the Epstein thing comes crashing down on him. But he's also seemingly out of control mentally. Like, he has no fucking idea what's going on. I mean, the tweets that are going out are just inane, and he's just looking for enemies left and right. And finally, I heard someone say it today, saying, like, this whole global tariff initiative doesn't seem to have anything to do with America. It seems to be arbitrary based upon which leaders Trump likes and which he doesn't. And that's really how our country is being run right now, based upon the whims of Donald Trump, right? From the little things like the Wall Street Journal's not allowed in the press pool right now because he's in a knife fight with the Journal and with Murdoch, all the way up to like a 50% tariff on Brazil because he thinks that they're enforcing the rule of law too justifiably and hurting someone. But really, he's sending a message. Really, he's sending the message to the world that he doesn't want to be ever. The law to ever turn around on him. So it's just a fallacy world. I'm glad that the polling is showing horrendous numbers because I do feel like now there is that, maybe that what you called that persuadable middle, that casual racist who isn't so hardcore, that they're Klan-like, that is bothered by the roundups of the Latinos, and that's a bridge too far for them. They just wanted all the advantages of life, not like the harsh penalties of like alligator Alcatraz and the like, or it does bother them when they see the crying people as the parents are being pulled away from their kids. That's something. They're not totally lost. I'm glad to see that they're now souring on Trump and shrinking his base down to just the QAnon crazies who want to see the Epstein file. The problem is he still has intimidated the entire political class. So they roll along with all his bullshit. And they're still doing horrendous shit around the country, like cutting SNAP benefits, and that's about to kick in. So more people are going to go hungry in America. It wasn't bad enough when we cut the USAID and starving kids in Africa. Now we're just going to have starving kids in America because we decided we needed a tax cut for the wealthiest. Or even, why couldn't you give the tax cut and just leave the SNAP benefits? Why you gotta cut the SNAP? Since you don't care about the deficit anyway, why are we pretending to have these bullshit savings?
And those SNAP benefits are really going to affect rural white America, urban black and brown America, or the most vulnerable among us, which is ridiculous, which speaks to that 15-year-old's pain. Imagine the pressure of growing up. Now, here's a 15-year-old white kid who might have access to some resources.
Yeah, a lot of access, a lot of resources.
Yes. Now, think about the pressure on him, right, to get into a good college, to be able to afford it, right, to go out and get a good job. He's got to make every right step. If his parents are not uber connected. If they are, it'll make the path a little easier, but he's still got to do the work. Now imagine being one of these poor rural white kids, poor rural black or brown kids, or urban poor, right? Think about the pressure on you now, right? They don't even want you to go to college.
Yeah, our government doesn't want this current government doesn't want them to succeed.
No.
They want them to be like factory workers with all this, they
Yes.
want them to have shitty job. Well, some factory work can be good jobs, but I guess they want them out on the fields replacing all the undocumented Latinos that have been doing like some of the worst jobs.
Right.
So and they're taking away the education opportunities. So like they just don't want that person to succeed. The other thing the 15-year-old ranted about was like how many active shooter drills he's done in his life, and how they've actually had he's already had two. Not shooter drills, but I think he called them like active live scenarios where there was someone on a campus with a firearm. Where it wasn't just a drill, it was like fucking a real lockdown. And he's had that happen twice already at 15 years old. But like, yeah, he's like from this generation of like, fuck, I've already had I've been going
hiding under the desk.
My entire life.
Right. And it's crazy too, because now you see people trying to monetize the classrooms where you fold out the, steel doors and lock them. They're selling that crap to school districts. Teachers are going in their pockets for school supplies.
Yeah.
How does the district have money for that shit?
Anything but cut gun access, right? You got to sell more guns. Everyone needs to have the gun. That whole logic is so flawed and idiotic.
Ridiculous.
And the outcomes are horrendous. So like that, but we've lost that battle, right? The NRA has won that battle. You can't talk about you can't talk about gun control and win, right? So Alyssa Slotkin, weak and woke, right? Everyone's got to say, I'm a proud gun owner. Like, what the fuck for? You can be a gun owner, but stop with the proud. What are you proud of? Like, you're a proud TV owner? You're a proud microwave oven owner? Like, proud gun owner? Like, it's a tool. Like, what are you proud about owning it? It's just an idiotic mentality we have in this country about firearms, and that's why we have the most shootings and the worst statistics in the world.
Yep.
And that whole steel cage thing, those people, same fuckers selling that stuff to the schools, the same ones in the private prison business, and they're in the alligator Alcatraz business, right? They're all these like defense industry adjacent fuckers that are just monetizing the fact that we either live in fear or we lock people up.
Speaking of Florida, one of your favorite musical acts from the 80s, the 2 Live Crew is making news. Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell, making news about a party he went to at Mar-a-Lago after one of Donald Trump's pageants where there was sex and drugs everywhere. Said it reminded him of that scene out of, the Tom Cruise movie, Eyes Wide Shut? They have that. He said it was just debauchery everywhere you looked, and he couldn't get out of there fast enough. So he talked a little bit about, it was an interview on Sirius XM, and, you could probably find it on YouTube. But now remember, 2 Live Crew was one of the first rap acts that they wanted to ban.
Yeah, banned. Right? I was going to say they're getting banned. Now I was going to say go back to NIL. Luther Campbell was doing NIL 30 years
before NIL was the thing.
Wonder why Miami was winning championships, but you know what?
Playmaker find a way to win. Yes, indeed.
Better pay Michael Irvin.
Yes, indeed. But, so Brock, as the days turn, right, more and more of Trump's dark past. Have you seen the video of him ogling the young girls?
Yeah, with that other guy who got arrested for, that elite modeling thing, the 14, 15-year-old.
Chalapopolis or something.
Yeah, when you sent over to me. Look, he's a horrendous human being. He always has been. That's why when people say, you don't like Trump or you're anti-Trump or what do they call it, Trump derangement syndrome, I would always be like, no, he's just a horrendous human being. Awful. Let's not even talk about the policies. Now we're seeing that the policies are horrendous.
Right.
I lived in New York City. You knew who the fuck Donald Trump was. And you just knew he was a terrible person.
Human being.
He's always been a terrible person. Let's forget, I don't care what political party he was in. I didn't care anything about that. Terrible human being. And that hasn't changed. And anyone who knew anything about him in even any tangential way has known that for decades and decades.
2 things, Brock, from growing up in New York and around New York City, right? 1, Donald Trump, any man who refers to his daughter as a hot piece of ass is
fucking weird.
You're out of here.
It was weird. Yeah. It was like, huh?
That's disgusting. Number two, when you're a businessman and people give you money and expect nothing in return and they're okay with it, and you can't make money at that, you suck as a businessman. He couldn't make money in the gambling business, right? And he had a $400 million head start. You suck as a businessman. And we all knew that in New York. We all laughed at Donald Trump when he said, I wanted to be president, right? Because we knew he was a joke of a human being. It ain't no Trump derangement syndrome. It's the guy is an S. He's a worthless human being. Nobody likes him. Even his family doesn't like him.
No, he has. That's why they say he has friends. He has no friends.
He has no friends.
And because all he cares about himself. And as he's gotten older, he gets worse, like all of us, right? Kind of your worst. Steve Martin once said, I think he said, as you get older, you either become the best version of yourself or the worst version of yourself, or you can make a choice to be one or the other. But like all your worst characteristics, if you don't like fight it, like come out as you get older. And we're seeing it in Donald Trump. He was always a terrible person. Now he's a terrible person with like severe mental decline, and has been given a ton of power. I mean, like he's just wreaking havoc on the world. He's an abomination, and it just keeps coming back to like, what are we going to do about it? I guess for now we're going to keep the Epstein story and keep pounding him with it because we know it's damaging him. And isn't it funny? Like they even admitted that he has some sort of ailment because remember he would just go to the doctor and be told he was the greatest specimen of all time. 6'4", 240, could be an NFL linebacker, but decided not to be. Could still winning golf championships. Like what club's he at? Where fucking 80-year-old guys? Really? There's no fucking young guys at that club. You know, so that's a joke. Like. Right, could have been a baseball player, but had too much to do. Right, Spurs. The fact that they came out and acknowledged and admitted that he has like this vascular disease is just like that's like an admission of weakness you usually don't get out of the Trump camp, and that to me was just a messaging of like they're scrambling to try to cover up or change the narrative, even if the subject. The next narrative sucks. Nothing's as bad as this narrative, the Epstein narrative.
Nothing.
So trying other narratives.
Nothing comes close. Quick hit before we go. I got to get one from you, but I got one for you. Did you hear about the guy who moved his family to Russia? He's a welder.
He's
a welder.
Threw him in. I don't know why. I don't know anything about the move to Russia. That I didn't hear the backstory on it, but I did hear that somehow they drafted him to the army, and now he's in the front lines in Ukraine or something like that.
They told him, we can use your skill as a welder. Now they put him up on the front lines. He's going to be up. They got no military experience. Dude's like 45 years old.
Who else
He's going to be running for his life, and he can't speak the language. What a moron. He took his wife, his 3 kids, and the dog, and now there's a petition on Instagram to get the dog back.
Just the dog. Yeah, let him go to the front lines. Get a fucking drone on it. Zelensky's crew.
Good fucking luck with that.
My quick hitter for you is I could go on for ages about how much I love the WNBA. Okay?
Nice.
I just love the WNBA. And I love it. The All-Star game, the players literally came out and warmed us with a pay us what you owe us warm-ups. Yeah. And I will shoot down the fucking argument. And people say, oh, the league's losing so much money. The players can't get paid more. The value of the fucking franchises are going up exponentially.
Skyrocketing.
Coming to the league. The value of the franchise is going way up. So I don't want to hear about the operational near-term losses.
Right.
Because the real value is when you sell the team. You see what people are selling teams for now in every league, whether it be baseball. The Lakers went for ridiculous, $10.5 billion. Plus they bought it for $500,000. Cuban sold out for a boatload. You name the sport. Franchises are going for, and the WNBA franchises already, those people that have been in the league are going up huge, and they've undervalued themselves. And they got a huge, great thing going, and the players are like an FU. So they're civil rights. They were the first on the Breonna Taylor thing. We can't get into that guy only getting 3 days, but they ended up with 3 years. They were early on every social issue, and now they're there. They're there on Me Too, and they're there on equal pay now. And I'm all for them getting paid because you know what? They have the league has legitimate stars, like people that are like pop culture followings,
icons,
social media followings. They're so fucking smart. They film them walking in. It's like a fashion show coming into the game.
Gotta love it.
The game itself is well played. They have talent, and it's exciting, and they're just killing it. And the players are in FU mode. Oh yeah, and a few of them started their own little winter league where they're making more money than the WNBA. And I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to the strike.
I'm looking forward to them getting paid.
Yep, because it's gonna take a strike. There'll be a work stoppage, but they'll handle it quickly, and they'll be back on the court before you know it. But I love them.
Yeah,
Asia, Angel, Kelsey Plum, one of my faves. You know, she used to be married to New York Giants tight end Darren Waller.
They just don't fuck around. You know, I'm a Paige Beckers guy. I mean, Caitlin Clark, obviously, you know, she's just a phenomenon. Yeah. But look, the leagues.
But I love them.
And they got a lot of LGBTQ, and it doesn't fucking matter. It just proves it doesn't matter. You don't even know. You don't care.
Yep.
So yeah,
I can't tell because they're all wearing the same uniform.
I love that they made a statement because you know somebody needs to make the statement, and it gets back to the other thing I've said about black community. Right, you got the representation already. Yeah. Now it's time to go for power. Power. And that's what the WNBA players are trying to do against the league ownership. They're making a power play on the league. Stop pushing us around as women, as black women. We're of value. We're driving value for you, and we need our fair share accruing our way. So they've moved on beyond representation. They've moved to power.
This is unprecedented in professional sports. The stand that they have taken on all these different issues, unprecedented. But you would never see this in the NFL.
And the popularity up and to the right. Even though they'll talk on every social issue, popularity of the league on every metric going stratospheric. It goes to show you don't have to fucking tiptoe around. There is no fucking lane. There is no shut up and dribble. You know, these are human beings and people, and we want to hear their opinions, and it can be controversial, and they can be who they are, and that's the product. Like, to me, it's such a snapshot of the way things should be, and they're just trying to make their own reality. And I root for them because, to me, everything they do is inherently anti-MAGA. Not intentionally, just inherently. Just being who they
good
are.
People.
Just being who they are.
Just being good people. Good human beings. And nothing wrong with that. I love who
I'm looking for leadership. Like, the WNBA constantly delivers it.
Yep. All day long. All right, my friend. Good stuff. Glad you made it safely. We'll rack it up and do it again tomorrow.
All right, Mark. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Get some rest. Peace.